Welcome everyone to Let's Play Touhou Mystical Power Plant! I'm very excited to finally be doing another Edo game. This game is miles and miles better than the last comer. It was made in PH3, so it was made in the newer Danmakufu engine, which is awesome. As you can see, you don't even need to start the game from the Danmakufu menu anymore. You can just open the game and it comes to its own menu, which is so cool. So yeah, I am actually recording this intro after my run, because I decided that I got sick of recording the intro to this video every time, so I decided that I'm just gonna keep recording the main run, and when I finally win, I'll just combine that with this footage here. So, yeah, as you can see, I have extra unlocked. That's because I did manage to win. So, I, was playing on lunatic mode, no bombs, with riiip B. I didn't play as the other shot types simply because I don't really think they're that good. Honestly, I tried them all out in practice and they're kind of garbage. No offense. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop right in. Alright, so I might as well start by explaining the system of this game. So, Mystical Power Plant involves the gathering of leaves, and these leaves are spawned from enemies with a green aura, and they also spawn after you defeat boss attacks. And whenever you gather these leaves, you will slowly fill up this, actually not really slowly, it fills up pretty quickly, but you'll fill up these gauges on the bottom left corner, and you will gain levels. With every level that you get, you will gain a skill, which you can see in the right side of the screen. Right now I have Avoidance Plus and Reflexes. I don't know what all the skills do. I honestly don't know anyone who knows all the skills, but I know that Avoidance lowers your hitbox size. You can get up to 5 levels, but once you've reached the 5th level and filled up the gauge, you'll reset back to 0, but you will get a life piece and a bomb piece as a reward, so that's kind of your... yeah, that's kind of your reward for filling up the gauge. I just said that twice. Anyway, this is Kodama, and she's actually pretty annoying of a mid-boss because her spell card can really kind of BS you. Like, the explosions themselves are very random, and the purple balls tell you where the explosions are actually going to be, but they don't actually give you as much time to get away from bad situations before they start exploding, so sometimes you'll just kind of be screwed, but it's not too bad. For the second half of the stage, ideally you'll want to kill the enemies as they spawn, and I completely fucked up because the enemy's actually supposed to come from the right, and now I'm completely doing this wrong, and I'm probably going to die, or not. So, yeah, this stage 1 is pretty tricky if you don't know what you're doing, as I've proven so excellently right there. Let's just go fight our stage 1 boss. So, this is Kusoko, aka a potions girl, or does she make medicine? Actually, I think she makes both. I don't really care. I didn't bother with the English patch. If you're interested in the lore, you can just look on the wiki or download the patch yourself. So, her first spell, make sure that you dodge it in the mid-height of the screen. You don't want to dodge it too low on the screen, because if you dodge it too low on the screen, you'll likely die. And I'd assume that's the case for the top of the screen too, though why would you ever dodge that on the top? You can also go in between the big bubble gaps to make it even safer, which I'm doing right here because I really don't want to risk it. Alright, and now for the second non. Honestly though, all these nons are pretty easy, and if you put them in a random order, I wouldn't even be able to tell you which one came first. Because honestly, these nons are just... Did I mention Oku's shotgun earlier? Because I don't know if I did, but Utsuho is a really good shotgun, which I'm not going to use on this spell, because this spell actually kind of pushes you towards the bottom. It also tries to push you away from the boss. So the trick to this spell, well, there isn't really a trick, but if you move against the lasers before they spawn their hitbox, you can do more damage to the boss. It's not really a hard spell. As you can see, the bullet density was really light, even for lunatic standards. This stage 1 boss is overall pretty easy. The only thing you're likely to die to is that first spell. Alright, and the final spell looks really, really cool. So you've got these awesome lasers and bubbles and all these things spinning around, and Actually, you're not dodging anything except for blue balls. Yeah, so you're only dodging one bullet type, but it's such a cool looking spell, and I have to give it credit for credit is due. As you can see, I made use of Ito's shotgun a lot. Alright, so stage 2 starts off with the motif of having 2 fairies spawn on both sides of the screen, and these fairies are going to spawn rice bullets that spiral. So what you want to do is you want to start from the left, then go to the right, then go from right to left, and on the third wave you want to finish it on the right because there will be some scale firing fairies coming up, and you'll want to kill them as soon as you can, because they can and will BS you as they've BS me many times. And then, obviously, predictably, the scale fairies are going to come from the left, so you'll want to stay on the left. And then there will be lasers coming up soon after these, because now they're going to come from both sides of the screen. And honestly, the best way to handle that part is not to be in the middle, because in the middle of the screen, those arrowheads really clump up and you'll probably die. It's also fun to note that I don't believe there's actual fairies spawning these lasers, because I've never seen fairies. It just feels like it's just the aura themselves firing the lasers. Oh, by the way, the first wave of this non always tries to wall you, like it did there. It's such a nasty non-spell. I hate it. I really do. Thankfully, the Kodama, I do believe she always follows the direction you move in, so... Or am I wrong about that? I really don't know. But... the spell card at least is pretty easy. It gives you a lot of space to move in, and it's not that dense, so you shouldn't die to it. Although given my 14 out of 17 history, I have died to it in the past. Because this game is just hard. Sorry, I don't mean to be all like... but I'm bordering over 20 takes at this rate. But I don't mind... Although I do mind, but at the same time I don't, because I really want to no-bomb this. Because I know I can. I know I can. By the way, the second half of the screen, as I said in that outtake, the second half of the screen, I can't even talk anymore. The second half of the stage, you want to try to kill the enemies as they're spawning, and be wary of the curvature of these things, because sometimes they can surprise you. Whatever, let's just fight our boss, who actually decided to show up this time. There was a take where this boss didn't show up, and it was really, really weird, and I don't really understand. Her non-spells are all just luck shit. I mean, okay, it's not that bad, but it's just random explosions. Like, either dodge it in the middle or dodge it in the side. Just use your eyes, you know, make a decision whether you think it'll be safer, and stick with that decision. On this spell, you don't really have to be on the bottom of the screen. I like to stay high so I can shotgun her and just kill it super quick. Although it's not a threatening spell, I've yet to lose a take to it. The second non-spell starts getting a lot more dangerous, because the second non is just... adds more stuff. I try to dodge each wave on the side, because being in the middle seems risky, but I guess sometimes it's safe in the middle. On the second spell, you want to make sure if you're riiip that you're shotgunning at the beginning, because this spell is BS and I don't care what anyone says. Thankfully though, it dies really quickly, especially if you shotgun, so you should only have to go through like 1 or 2 bubbles. The bubble explosions, the purple bubbles explode and clear out a path. Heaven help you if they decide to put the bubble bullets at the very edges of the screen, because then you're likely going to get walled. The third non is obviously the hardest one she has, I shouldn't have to say that. It's also asymmetrical compared to the other ones, so it's a little weird. And then the last spell is super easy for some reason, but honestly, it's a breather that you deserve after going through that really hellish non. So just savor it. I should say hellish 3 nons, really. Also, I think this spell card name has a reference to Pikachu, or maybe it was the song title. I don't know, I just remember this boss references Pikachu, which is really weird. Alright. Stage 3 is evil, because this stage introduces fairies that fire very fast curving purple ball bullets. It's really stupid, it's really annoying, I hate it, and if you don't know where these enemies are going to spawn from, you're just going to die. And I've learned that lesson many times. And then the next section is kind of weird, because the only thing you're dodging are aimed stars, so it's not difficult. It's really light for something on a lunatic, but don't complain, this game has enough hard things, so savor the easy bits. Alright, so for this part here, you'll want to take care of the arrow fairies if you can, but on the third wave, try to start it from the right, because you see those fairies coming from the right, you want to kill them as they're spawning. You'll want to stream to the left and kind of squeeze your way through here, and then go back to the right, because you'll want to kill those fairies again, but also because the next section will punish you if you're not on the left of the screen, and you'll see what I mean. Some stupid dodges there. So yeah, you see those bubbles flying to the right. This game will punish you for going on the right on that first wave because, yeah, you're dead. And then vice versa here, you'll need to move to the right because you'll be dead if you're on the left. Fortunately, the mid-boss is pretty tame compared to the Stage 2 mid-boss. You might be spooked by these curvy lasers, but it's actually rotated static. So stay on the right or the left of the first orange wave, and then that'll be a safe spot for the remaining lasers. None of the remaining lasers can hit you if you do that. Alright. Now for the mid-boss spell, try to shotgun at the beginning. It doesn't last that long, but it can bullshit you, so be careful. It also likes to lag, though my computer's pretty good, so most of the stuff in this game doesn't lag for me. If you don't know that those curvy ball fairies are coming, you're likely gonna die, but it's left, right, so just take care of them, kill them, just kill them. They're hard. Can you tell I'm drained? For the last wave, you'll want to be in the middle, by the way. And then the very end of the stage is kind of weird because nothing really comes towards you. You can just kind of stay in the bottom middle and you won't die. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either, but it's just there to look pretty. Alright, now for a boss which is related to the Stage 5 boss in TLC. Kinda weird. Her nons are pretty tricky, though the first one is relatively easy, I say as I make weird dodges. Also, her theme is stolen from Sariel, which is really strange. So her first spell is just weird and edgy, and it doesn't really provide any weird dodging. Well, I guess you could say it's weird dodging, but it's not really threatening. I can't remember the last time I actually failed this spell. It's just there to look edgy. It's just weird. This whole fight is weird, honestly. So for the second non, if you notice she moves too far away from you, don't rush to follow her, because she'll always come back towards you, so just hold your ground. The second spell, always make sure to misdirect the laser to the left. The thing is that the laser in this spell will go in the direction that you misdirect it to go to. So if you're always on the left of the laser, it'll always rotate clockwise, and you want to do that so you can go into a continual clockwise stream and try to shotgun within the intervals that you can. If you do this, this is the easiest way to do the spell, honestly, in my opinion. It's consistent, it works, and yeah, I didn't finish it off there because I realized that I was going to die. You'll want to finish it off at the bottom, but if you see that you're going to get screwed over, then just go another wave. And then this last non-spell has aimed lasers at you, and these lasers look so weird and, like, retro. They're just like lines of purple. I don't know if that's supposed to be some reference or something, but this spell is bullshit. I don't care what anyone says, it's bullshit. Yeah, as you can see there were light balls coming at me at the end. Those light balls are so bullshit because there's no way you can dodge those light balls and dodge the very fast angular bullets at the same time. It is such a stupid attack, and I don't know why it was approved, but yeah, if you're not riiip, you're probably going to fail it because riiip at least can kill it before those light bulbs reaches you. And I should have talked about this last spell, which is so cool. I really like that spell design. It's just aimed, she'll move towards you, move out of the way, shotgun her, and then just move from top to bottom, bottom to top, etc. It's easy. Really free spell, but it's so cool, so I forgive it. For stage 4, the hardest part of the entire stage section is at the very beginning of the stage because of some aimed lasers that we'll see coming up. You could start the stage off on the right if you want, and then I like to stay on the right because I hate dodging those lasers from the middle. Of course, I can't really get to the right, and there's too much going on, and I died. Yeah, that part is really hard. I don't know. There has to be a better way to do it that I don't know about, but Whatever. So we'll go ahead and try to make our way to the POC. Actually, it doesn't even matter because there's no more leaves. Thankfully, though, the stage is pretty light overall after that beginning section. Like, this practically dodges itself. Now for Kodama, the stage 1 Kodama is back. Her non-spell is pretty easy, though her spell can be pretty tricky. For the non-spell, you can kind of like misdirect it so those big lines don't ever spawn in the middle. That's what I like to do. It dies after 2 waves, so it's not really threatening. Now for the spell card, you have to move in this like rhythm, which I don't always get. It's not that I already fucked it up. Probably gonna die. Fuck me. You gotta move in this rhythm, which is not hard to do, but apparently I can't do it, so yeah. Should spell practice it, but whatever. Thankfully, the end of the stage is really easy, but just make sure that you know those aimed fairies are happening because you'd likely get surprised by them. Seriously, I have lost many takes from that. Also, go to the top middle because you get a safe spot. The top middle is a general safe area. None of these enemies can harm you if you're up there. Alright, let's just go ahead and fight our stage 4 boss. It's a Tengu named Tenmu. Yeah, a Tengu named Tenmu. So this boss is just a gimmick boss. Like, honestly, her fight is so weird, and I don't know why. It's just weird. The nons are quirky, the spell cards are all just ridiculously weird. But hey, I mean, she is a Tengu, so I guess that's the point. The first spell is pretty free if you're riiip B, because it's never actually going to get threatening. If you're other shots, though, you might have trouble because it lasts a long time. It's a weird spell. Be careful of the arrows, though, because arrows have bullshit Danmaku hitboxes, and I hate them so much, and I've died to them so many times, and I don't want to deal with them anymore. Sadly, all of her non-spells have these stupid arrows, except for the last one, I think, but it's annoying. Luckily, this non is pretty easy because the waves which are supposed to cross end up just combining, so yeah. Now for the second spell, there's only one rule. Don't go in the bubble lanes. As long as you don't go in the bubble lanes, you won't have problems because this spell is pretty easy. You can see the bullets are ridiculously slow and not that dense at all, so the only threat there are the bubble lanes. Now, I gotta talk about this non here, because these rice bullets are confusing at first. The thing is that they go in one direction, but at the very end, they change direction. So if you don't know about that, you're gonna get sniped. Alright, immediately go to the V in level for this, because you're gonna need to stream, because this spell is streaming. But it's so weird, because this spell, like, it covers up the actual Danmaku, so yeah, I don't know why it exists. It limits your mobility, so you can't really actively damage the boss, but it's not really that hard because it's just streaming. However, if you do die to it, you're probably gonna die twice because while you're coming back to life, the bullets will already start aiming again, so you're gonna get into a wall. It's ridiculous, and I hate the spell for that reason, and most of the time I die to it, I always die multiple times. Alright. On the last spell, you need to kill these familiars. And you're gonna have to dodge 3 waves. There's no better way to do this attack. Maybe there is, and I don't know about it, but as far as I know, you need to kill these because they're going to bullshit you. They're going to torture you, and ideally you want to kill them with Utsuho's spread, because if you try to kill them with Reimu, you might take too long, and just get rid of them. You should kill it by the 3rd wave, though. And the last spell, I thought it had a safe spot, but for some reason I can never get that safe spot right, so I'm just gonna try to dodge it normally. However, I don't really know how to dodge it normally, so I'm probably gonna die. Yeah. It's static though, except for the random balls, so you can memorize it. I just don't care enough to memorize it, because I don't really care about it. Or we're probably gonna lose. Alright. So for stage 5, you will want to position yourself in the middle of the screen. The middle of the screen is a safe spot. Yes, all of this grand dense Danmaku will not hit you if you're in the bottom middle. I don't really get it myself. It looks cool though. Now the next section involves streaming. But you want to do your streaming slowly because as you can see there, those white balls will try to block you off. I suppose you could do one big macro stream, but it's not really necessary. Just do some light taps, it's really easy. Then these fairies, you want to try to kill them as they spawn if you can, though sometimes you might not be able to. Like right there, but it's not a big deal if you can't kill them. If you end up not killing them, just move away the head and you should be fine. Though it's very important for this section that you're always killing the fairy on the left. The streaming part is over, now it's just replaced by random fairies. So just make sure that you're killing the left fairy because there's a certain part coming up after this fairy right here. You'll want to be hugging the left wall to kill these fairies here, because this part is the hardest part in the stage. Actually, I don't think that anymore, but you'll immediately have to go to the right, and as you can see, I didn't kill the fairy on the right, so I'll need to go back and kill it, and I almost died there, but honestly, every time someone dodges that section, it still looks ridiculous, so... By the way, Lily White is back, except now she's Lily Black. And mid-boss. This mid-boss is actually threatening, at least on the non-spell. The spell card's easy, but the non is a little annoying because the curvy lasers like to aim towards you, I guess? And you gotta dodge the jelly beans and stuff as well. Alright, so for the spell card, it aims at you. It's basically Ichirin's mid-boss spell, where there's a fist that aims at you, so you misdirect it. It's literally the same thing, except they're coming directly from the top and not, curved at you from Unzen. Make sure to grab the extend and immediately go to the left. This part is really difficult. You need to kill these stars as they spawn. Oh my god. Jesus fuck. I don't care. I lived, that's all that matters. Yes, I said earlier that was the hardest part of the stage, and that is the hardest part of the stage. Oh god, I can't even talk right now. Yazaki. Yes, we saw her in the Shattered Sky, but this is her origin. She's actually the stage 5 boss of this game, and she's actually a pretty easy boss. There really isn't that many hard parts of Yazaki. Though this non-spell can be a little bit weird, so I try to opt to going a little bit farther to the side if I know that I'm going to be screwed. Alright, the first spell is really adorable because the Kodama will highlight which one of them is going to fire the sun, so all you gotta do is just look and see which one's about to fire, and I had to move away from the middle because the middle one is the one that decided to fire, but that's fine. Just get back in the middle. It's not really a threatening spell, though it's really adorable. Hopefully I can finish this off. Okay. Now for easy non number 2. None of the non-spells are really threatening, except for the last one. Okay, I did say the first non-spell is a little bit threatening, but it's not that bad. This boss is easy. She's your breather, but honestly, it's a good breather because the stage 6 boss is really annoying and I hate her so much. This non is just streaming. Alright, and the second spell, you'll want to go up there, shotgun. So this spell is actually pretty easy as riiip because of the fact that it will die before the spell actually starts doing things, so you can kill it pretty quickly and it won't actually be threatening. I've never tried to time that out, though. I'm curious as to what would happen if you did try to time it out. Alrighty. Third non-spell might be a little bit confusing at first because of the fact that these rice bullets like to close and open. So you'll need to take that into consideration when choosing which lanes to go through. But it's not hard once you get the hang of it. Now the third spell starts off with this weird explosion, but it isn't really difficult at all and really feels like filler. Just move up whenever you need to go around the green waves, I guess. Like, right now. And it will die in like 2 seconds. Well, 19 seconds to be exact. And then the last non-spell is a little bit scary. So the trick to this thing is that it's gonna wall you eventually. So what you need to do is you need to move really far away to the side when that happens. And it looks like it's gonna happen right now. You see, if I was in the middle, I would have died there. I think that happens every time, but I don't know. I just know that on that nod, you want to go to the side eventually, because if you don't, you will get walled. Do not try to micro the arrows, because the arrows in Danmakufu are terrible. Fortunately, the last spell is really easy, and she doesn't even use the Kodama. And you can even shotgun with Utsuho if you want. It dies really quickly, the bullets are slow enough, and it's not bullshit. It is random, but it's not bullshit. Just be careful that if you're close to her that she doesn't ram into you. So yeah, no miss, no bomb, stage 5. I needed that after that bad early game. Bad stage 4, really. Alright, so I don't care what Martin says, I hate this stage portion. You're expected to shotgun these fairies as they spawn, but the stage will push you up on the screen, and you need to kill them, and or that happens. And then on the second part, I like to just stay at the bottom. I usually get away with it because these like glow bullets don't ever really hit the exact bottom, so you can kind of hug the bottom and try to unfocus because you want Utsuho's shotgun to kill those yin-yangs when they close in on you. Alright, now we actually have a mid-boss that's not Kodama this time. It's Hatate. Hatate's gonna Hatate. She is really easy. Like, you're not gonna have to die to her because she's just easy. I really don't have much to say, honestly. Her spell card is also really easy, and you can misdirect it as well. You can misdirect the photography shot so that you can stay under her longer. That's how I do it, and it works. So really, the only thing you're dodging are really slow arrows with lots and lots of space between them. They don't even transform into bullets when the picture takes them, so it's a breather. But a much needed breather for this. Okay, I'm not gonna insult her because she's not that bad, but she's really hard. This first non-spell is annoying. I hate it, and I'm gonna have to concentrate. Alright, so the first spell is pretty easy. So for the first wave, you're going to want to stay in the middle, and then you're going to want to move to the side, then you're going to go back to the middle, then you're going to go back to the left, then you're going to go back into the middle, and then you should be able to finish her off, unless she doesn't die, and then you'll die too. Alright, I really don't know how the hell you're supposed to do this second non. I've never learned it. I'm probably going to die. I don't even care. Actually, I should care. I need to shut up. It's streaming. And I'm so far from the boss now. I'm gonna have to restream. I guess that works. That's probably the worst way you could ever do that non-spell. Don't ever do that. Learn your own strat. I don't really care enough to learn one. This spell is also really bullshit. It's really random. Yeah. Luckily, I usually get lucky on this spell, though. Alright. Now, the third non is really stupid. I don't even really know how to do it. It's stupid. I seriously hate the combination of those lasers and those arrow walls. I think the lasers are static though. This spell is not really that hard, but if she warps across the screen a bunch, you're gonna have trouble hitting her. I would appreciate it if she would stay under me. I would appreciate it if she stayed under me. Of course she's not. She can't be nice. She's gonna warp all over the screen. I'm not gonna be able to damage her, and I'm gonna die. That's not And then the last non-spell is like really funny. So it starts off with these lasers with arrows that go along with the lasers, and then this part's gonna explode. It's gonna explode, but I know it's coming, so I'm not gonna die. But yeah, it's funny. It's a really weird, crazy well, it's not really crazy. It's just a spiral. And then the last wave is just gonna be like aim stuff. So the last wave is really easy. But yeah, it's 3 cycles, just like Remelia and Kaneko, and they're all really easy. Like, you shouldn't have any problems with this non-spell. It's surprisingly a good breather for what you had to deal with. Alright, and this spell is absolutely trivial if you're riiip. Shotgun, because you get a lot of time at the beginning of the shotgun. So just keep shotgunning, go to the bottom, and then the spell will just die before anything happens. Yeah, it's absolutely trivial. And then for this spell, she brings in that Tengu, and you're going to want to misdirect because Mitama's laser will aim at you, and if you're in the middle of the screen, you're likely going to die. So make sure to misdirect Mitama's laser and go into the middle, and you should be able to kill it really quickly, especially if you shotgun. It's a really, really easy spell. But don't worry, because we're going to get an equally bullshit spell afterward. Equally, more bullshit spell afterward. Yep, the fight's not over. It's time for Resurrection Butterfly, except not really. Alright, now for this, one of the Kodama is missing. One of the Kodama is missing! There's only 2! What the fuck? Dude, what is it with me? Every time I try to play this game, the bosses don't show up. They just don't show. Jesus. I don't even know. Like, there's only 2 Kodama. Why? Oh god. Oh, and this spell, by the way, you don't want to kill them all at the same time, because if you do so, you're gonna get fucked. So you want to like try to damage them all equally and all that stupid bullshit, and then immediately go to the left, because if you don't know about that, then you're gonna die, because this thing is streaming, but it's very long streaming, so you need to make use of as much space as possible, which means you have to be on the very left or right before you start streaming. And then Yaizaki will come in, but she's not really threatening because you can kill her before she actually does anything. I'd imagine if you don't kill her, you're gonna be completely screwed. So now the last spell, last phase of the last spell is kind of spooky, but I don't find it that difficult. I'm probably gonna die though, just because I said that. It lasts a long time though, so it's kind of an endurance test, but I think I'll be fine because I've got 2 lives to tank it. Pretty sad if I had to die 3 times to this last spell though, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I just want this over with. I'm exhausted. That's okay, I still have a life. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Oh Jesus. Okay, die, 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 die. I don't even care if I don't have any lives left. It's over. It's over. Oh god. It's over. It's over. That was so hard. I have over 20 takes of this game, because this is a really hard game to no bomb, apparently. Oh, we're done. We're fucking done. God, I don't even have anything insightful to say, honestly. Oh my god, we're done! Oh my god, that was so frustrating. So, that was Mystical Power Plant. Really cool game. Well, not as cool as their later games, like Book of Star Mythology, but still, it's a fun game if you don't try to do stuff like no bombs. Seriously, don't ever do no bomb. It's not worth it. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the hell I did. There's also an Uda route, which I've never played before, but I think I'm going to do extra stage next, so I'll see you guys then.